If you love $9 Monday and $2 Tuesday, you're really going to appreciate our new Throwback Thursday when all daily packages are slashed in half. Yes, you heard right at both WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com. All Thursday daily packages are now 50% off. This means that a 4% package will be only $12.50. A 5% top-rated play, normally priced at $35, will be only $17.50. And the hottest sales item of the day, get a full day of access from the handicappers of your choice. That's one day of every applicable play they release, including any 5% best bets normally priced at $39 for only $19.50. The best part is you can come back every Thursday to take advantage of this limited time 50% off spring off.
Happy Thursday, guys. Welcome to WagerTalk TV and Stoppage Time. I am Carmine Bianco. I will wish those of you that celebrated a happy 420 today. I know Pavlos probably celebrates it for sure. We got a couple of Europa League games today. Sevilla, Man United, AS Roma, and Feyenoord. And then we're going to do a couple games on the weekend. The biggest one in the EPL is likely to be the Newcastle Tottenham game, a battle for top four positions. And then we've got an FA Cup semifinal game, Brighton at home hosting Man United. So we've got Man United twice on this card, but it is a game of interest. And to discuss them with me from WagerTalk.com, it's Kevin Dolan and Brian Power. And filling in the sports memo seat, Pavlos Lagaretos. Let's bring the boys in. Bri, I know you're tired, man. You've been in Vegas. You're probably on like zero sleep. But how you doing?
I'm doing good. Couldn't miss this show for the world, obviously, guys. Wednesday is the day. Yet again, went 3-1 overall yesterday. Anyone who tuned into the show Tuesday knows that include Benfica, who we talked about right before we went on the air. I think we would all agree the best winner is, just a rocking chair blowout. We all love those. But second best is when you throw in the towel, give up on your side, and then you walk back to the hotel room and they've tied it up and you get the win plus the half goal. So I'll take it. We've now shown a profit 7 of the last 9 days, Carm. Overall, MLB, red hot, 67% going back to last October. Number one at WagerTalk, up basically 50 units during that time. NBA now 11-5 last 16 after a very easy win with the under on the Grizzlies and Lakers last night. It's Thursday now. We turn the page. That means half-price winners, and I'll be talking about those at the end of the program.
Yes, and it is 50% off today across the whole site at WagerTalk. You can get any daily package, which includes 5% plays for 50% off. That is a great deal, so take advantage of it. Kev, how you doing, man? We got some big boxing matches coming up, I think, as well, too. Let us know what's on your plate.
Yeah, we certainly do, Carmine. In terms of soccer, went small in the Champions League last night. Had a small play on the under in the Inter Milan Benfica game, which, obviously ended up in a goal fest near the end. But thankfully, more than made up for that by, Brian just mentioned it, a rocking chair winner. Cashed a big 5% winner over in the NBA and the Milwaukee Bucks. They just steamrolled the Miami Heat pretty much in that game. So pretty happy with that. 9-0 run on NBA best bets right now as well. Number one since 2018. I love NBA, so pretty happy with that. And as you said, big boxing this weekend. Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia. That's creating a lot of media attention over in Las Vegas. So I'm definitely pumped for this weekend.
Awesome. I look forward to you sending me some winners. I've got my phone ready for those messages from you. And, of course, looking forward to seeing you at the WagerTalk meet and greet, which goes on August 19th at the Westgate. So for all of you out there, if you can make it, that is a fun week and weekend where you get to meet some of the guys, talk a lot of sports, and have a few drinks at the same time. Pavlos, how are you, my man? How's the weather there? It is warming up here, finally, north of the border in Canada. How are things in Europe?
Really nice, really sunny. The summer is coming to Greece. That's why I took out this bad boy. It's my favorite, shirt for the shows. Coming off a really nice weekend, I had an easy winner with a 5% actually in Portugal. We faded the Sporting Lisbon. The underdog was Aruca plus 175. The game was a draw. I also included the draw as a free play at plus 350 in that match. So really, I didn't touch any Champions League matches, but today it's Thursday. We got Europa League, we got Europa Conference League. I have a 5-pack up. Best bet is included there, a 4% play on the spread. I have 4 more plays and 1 more. I want to see the lineups before I load this as well. You can get it for just under $15. It's a great deal. A couple of best bets for the weekend, and I'm super excited to talk some soccer with you guys because I love this Europa Conference League and Europa League plays, and I'm super excited to talk about them.
Awesome. And talk about it, we will. So, guys, let's get right to it. We'll talk about the first one, Sevilla and Man United. We'll look at the openers on this one. The opener, Sevilla plus 260. The draw plus 264. Man United plus 102. Those were the openers. Right now, Sevilla up a little bit at plus 280. The draw's at 263. So holding pretty much firm there. United have taken a little bit of money. They are now laying a little bit of juice, minus 103 in this one. Kevin and I are going to look at this. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I'm leaning on the over here. I like the over 2.5 here. The first game was all Man United, but the final score wasn't. A 2-2 draw in that one. United score all 4 goals, remarkably. 2 own goals, went up 2-0. 2 late own goals as well, too, including a marvelous Harry Maguire header into his own net for a 2-2 final. A few players obviously missing for United today, so you might want to take that into consideration and maybe look at the starting lineups before that game goes off. But Bruno Fernandes is out on yellow cards, so he will not feature. At practice, Rashford, Sabitzer, and Luke Shaw all took part in practice and are part of the team. Whether they make it into the starting lineup or not remains to be seen. I think they will in what is essentially an important game against 6-time Europa League winners, Sevilla. This is one of those ones where I believe if we, once again, if we get a goal in the first half, and I believe we will, that this game is going to trend to an over. Everything on the line here, but for these two teams, I've got to go over. There's no way for me to play this under. I've looked at it 10 times over, and you just can't find an under in this play. Over 2.5, I believe it gets there. And United eventually get the win in this one. A 2-1 final works for me. And I'll throw it over to Kev for a comprehensive breakdown of this game.
Yeah, it's quite funny, Carmine, because, there are certain English players that could have opted to play for Ireland. Jack Grealish, Declan Rice, we all know them. Wayne Rooney in the past. Harry Kane as an Irish grandfather as well, but Harry Maguire's one of those players where it's like, you can have him England, it's fine. He's good where he is. As you said, what a crazy end of last week's game. I had the Man United to win and under 3.5 goals prop. I believe it was plus 115. I really like that play. Obviously, when you're watching the game, it looked great for 90% of it. Sevilla weren't creating a whole pile. United seemed content to sit back, protect that lead. But, Harry Maguire, Lindelof, when they're in the building, it really is, it's dicey for sure. In this game, I'm expecting a kind of similar start for United. They already showed they're more than a match for this Sevilla side going forward. But by the same token, look, Sevilla have scored at least 2 goals now in 4 straight games since Mendilibar took charge. So, while you could argue they were perhaps a bit fortunate last week to get 2 goals, they nonetheless look a lot more threatening going forward now under the new boss than the team we saw just a couple of months ago. So I expect United, pretty much like they did last week. We talked about this game last week. Start quick, get up on the scoreboard. But, with no Varane, no Martinez, I believe Luke Shaw still questionable as well. I believe there's just too many pieces missing for United. And they have pieces missing all across the pitch, but especially in that defensive area, for United to kind of get complacent here, take a lead, protect that lead. So, unlike last week, I don't expect them to ease up here because there's a real chance of the same thing happening again. Maybe not 2 own goals, but they're going to be giving Sevilla chances with that kind of defense. So, United likely win this game, in my opinion. They are the much better team in my eyes. But the price is just a little too short for me to get involved here personally. But like you, from a totals perspective, more than happy to come in and take a piece of the over here on Thursday night.
All right, I like it. And in that game, in leg one at Old Trafford, Sevilla only generated 0.67 expected goals in that one. As I mentioned, with a little bit of humor, it was United that provided all 4 goals in that one, and 1.89 goal expectancy for them. So they were pretty much in line with what they created with their 2 goals scored and a couple of really nice goals from Sabitzer in that one. So I'd love to see him in the lineup today. Another game that goes today, we are not talking Juventus today on this show. We are talking another Italian team, AS Roma. The line on this one, Roma minus 122 at the Olimpico. The draw is plus 263. Feyenoord plus 348. Now the line has moved a little bit, an uptick on Roma at minus 129. Now the draw is at 259, so pretty much holding steady. A little bit more on Feyenoord here at plus 388. Brian, I'm going to go to you first on this one. Still everything to play for in this one after a 1-0 Feyenoord win at home in leg one. Everything to play for here. It looks like Dybala is set to return and play a full game for Roma. Give me your thoughts on this game.
Yeah, let's not forget, guys, this is a rematch of last year's Europa League conference final as well. So obviously a lot of motivation on both sides. Roma comes in, of course, as you mentioned, Carb, needing to overturn the 1-0 deficit from the first leg. I thought a lot of poor fortune in that result. They missed a first half penalty. A couple players forced off the pitch with injuries. You mentioned Dybala, he's going to come back. I believe that's all but confirmed according to the latest reports. And that's huge because he is the joint top scorer in this year's Europa League with 3 goals. So they'll be glad to have him back. Also, Roma has been very good at home this season. They've lost only 3 of their last 30 home matches overall. They've gone 20 in a row without a loss before falling in the group stage to Real Betis. Back-to-back 3-0 wins here at home. That was over against Udinese and Sampdoria, which is a lot easier than what they've got in front of them here. But they've won 4 or 5 overall at home. All 4 of those wins, guys, clean sheets as well. 3 in the league, and then they beat Sociedad in the Europa League. And I found an interesting historical tidbit when breaking down this match. Roma, each of the last 3 ties where they've lost the first leg by exactly 1 goal, they've gone on to progress and advance. So history on their side, despite the 1-goal deficit coming into leg 2. That, by the way, includes a 2-0 win over Salzburg in the playoff round this year. And Roma's 9 wins this year without conceding, tops among all Italian sides, tied with Napoli. Feyenoord, history not so much on their side. They've lost 6 of 9 matches in Italy. Some of that, yes, is old news, but it does include a loss to Lazio back in the group stage. This is the only Europa League match I would be interested in today, guys, and my lean would be towards Roma. Whether or not they can overturn that deficit within 90 minutes, I don't know, is a different matter, but I think they will be at least up a goal after 90 minutes plus stoppage time. I would take Roma on the 3-way line.
All right. Brian Power of WagerTalk.com. Pavlos, this Feyenoord team are having an absolutely fantastic season in the in Netherlands Eredivisie. And on the road, you've got to go back, essentially throwing out the friendly that was played back in December, the middle of December. You've got to go back to October and a loss in Austria against Sturm Graz, where that was their last loss on the road. A lot of low-scoring games as well, too. Do you see goals in this one? Is this like an auto under on this one if you can get the 2.5? How do you play this game?
This is a weird match for the totals because, Roma, they tend to make things very, very tight. Actually, Roma have won 22 home matches in all competitions. No home matches regardless of venue, in all competitions. 11 of those, so half of those wins came by exactly 1 goal, either 1-0. Most of them are 1-0s. 7 of those came by exactly 2 goals, and only 4 wins came by 3 goals or more. So you got a team that's really fond of the unders. Mourinho plays this certain tactical game where he doesn't allow a lot of open spaces. He doesn't really open up in order to search for 3, 4, 5 goals. He just wants to score one goal, maybe a safety goal, and then he's done with it. He protects the result. They're leaning towards the under very heavily. And Feyenoord are the kind of opposite. They used to be a team that's very fond of the overs, mostly because they tend to score 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 goals in the Dutch league. But this is a whole different beast. Now they're playing in Italy. They haven't done a good job in Italy, and on the road this season, they're winless in their last 5 matches, 5 European matches, I believe. And Feyenoord, they're having a really strong season. They're 18 points above the second in the Eredivisie, in the Dutch league. So they have nothing to worry about in their domestic league. So they're gonna go full force in this match. Now, Feyenoord have only lost 4 matches this season. 4 losses. 3 of those 4 losses came by exactly 1 goal. Now, Roma, they need to overturn that 1-0 from the first leg, where they were really unlucky, as Brian said. They missed a penalty kick. They had 2.04 expected goals as opposed to 0.59 by Feyenoord. So, this is a very strange match. I think Roma are going to win this, but I don't like the price. It's a bit too low for my liking. So, Roma need a win to qualify. Now, if it's by exactly 1 goal, this match goes to extra time. If it's by 2 or more goals, they win the tie and they move on to the next round. So, I like the odds on Roma to win by exactly 1 goal, plus 205 at DraftKings. This is one. If you remember from previous years where the away goals rule was in effect, I like to bet on the exact same score of the first leg on the second leg. Now, I've changed my method since the away goal rule is not in effect anymore. So I like overtimes, extra times. So this match to go to extra time, Roma need to win by exactly 1 goal. And all the underlying stats, they push me toward that direction. So I like the plus 305 at DraftKings for Roma to win by exactly 1 goal.
Pavlos Argentos, I like that, man. I like those plays. Kev throws those banned ones out every once in a while too, at nice plus money. So anytime you can get a plus money play that has a good shot of hitting, I'm definitely into it. All right, guys, let's get on to the third game on today's card, and this is a Sunday game in the Premier League. It is a battle for a top 4 spot. Newcastle currently holding on to that 4th spot. Tottenham 3 points back by having played 1 game more. Newcastle minus 121 at home. The draw is plus 282. Tottenham plus 323. I'm going to say it again. This might sound like a square play, but again, these are 2 teams that I feel Tottenham's broken at this point. It may not have been Conte. They still cannot play defense, especially on the road. They've allowed 25 goals on the road in 15 games while scoring 24, an average of just a little over 3 goals scored on the road. The reverse fixture, 2-1 Newcastle at Hotspur Stadium. And that one, if you had watched that game, was a back and forth game that could have had more goals than were actually scored in that game. And you've got Newcastle coming off such a bad game at Aston Villa. Credit to Aston Villa in that one. This is a great bounce back spot for Newcastle, and I think we're going to see some goals here. The last 4 games between these two, dating back to a season and a half ago, have gone over the total. 5 of the last 6 have gone over the total, and it's minimal juice here. You're paying 120 on over 2.5, and that's where I'm going to lean on this one. It is. I don't see a cagey affair. I just see goals in this one, and eventually Newcastle coming out on top. So I don't mind laying the 121 on Newcastle, and I really don't mind laying the 120 on the over here. Give me the over as your lean on this game, and we'll go to Kev.
Yeah, I mean, I watch this Tottenham side, and sometimes you'll watch them play, and you're like, how are this team even challenging for a Champions League spot? Like it's just like you watch it, be like, surely that can't be right. But they have really kind of regressed, you would say, over the back half of the season. Their road form especially has been abysmal. Just 1 win in 6. Spurs own the league's 3rd worst road record since February the 1st as well. So I won't be having any Spurs tickets from a side perspective in this game. You touch on the Aston Villa Newcastle game. Brilliant game. Aston Villa, I watched them against Nottingham Forest the week before. they kind of struggle to break down teams that sit off them. But when you attack Aston Villa, they are so, under Unai Emery, they're so good at counter-attacking. And they just kind of, when Newcastle tried to get back into the game, they just tore down those wings. But look, we know what Tottenham, Son and Kane, even when they're not playing well, Tottenham as a whole, they are match winners. Tottenham have scored an average of 2.20 goals per game across the last 5 starts. And, they face a Newcastle side here that have started to regress defensively, across the last couple of months. That's, that's not to say they're bad. Still number 1 in the season as a whole, but their numbers were frankly ridiculous to start the year. They allowed just 11 total goals up until February the 1st. But since then, Newcastle have kept just 1 clean sheet across the last 10 league games. So, like you, I think there'll be goals in this game. I believe both teams will find the back of the net. And at minus 140, I like the both teams to score prop here on Sunday between Tottenham and Newcastle.
All right, and Kev, and you talk about Aston Villa, and I talk about top battle for those top 4 spots. Aston Villa are right there. They're on 50 points right now, 3 points back of Tottenham, and obviously having played 1 game more than Newcastle, 6 points back of them. If the Spurs were somehow to manage to win that game, and Aston Villa wins their away game at Brentford, they've got a shot. You look at Villa's schedule, and it's a winnable schedule. And their last 3 games are obviously tough. They play Tottenham, they play Liverpool, and then they finish with Brighton. So those are all teams that are playing extremely well right now, with the exception of possibly Tottenham. But they still, European play could be there for them, at the very least 5th spot, which is their Europa League spot. So we'll see where they go there. And they've got an important fixture coming up as well too. So with that said, I know I've got some friends who are Villa fans, so it'd be very interesting to see Villa in Champions League last year if Newcastle and Tottenham falter in front of them. Speaking of Brighton, let's go to the final game on today's card, and this is an FA Cup semi-final game, Brighton and Man United. Brighton plus 145, the draw is plus 265. Man United plus 176. Pavlos, I'm going to go to you first on this one. We're talking about United again. Here they are. They're playing today in Europa League, and then they've got to travel a big game. Obviously, the other half of the draw has Man City playing Sheffield United. So we could see another Manchester battle or Manchester derby in the final, but Brighton standing in the way. Can they get the job done here?
Could be. I'm not so sure how Manchester United will react after tonight's match against Sevilla. And with all the injuries that they have right now, I just don't trust their defense. And Brighton, they've been stunning in 2023. They've only lost 2 of their 17 matches. They have 11 wins, 2 losses, and 4 draws in 2023. Those 2 losses, one of them was a couple of weeks ago to Tottenham, where they actually won the XG battle. They had a couple of disallowed goals. It was just an unlucky loss. And the other one was against Fulham in a match where Brighton had 2.3 expected goals and Fulham had 0.31. So they somehow lost that match by 1-0. So apart from those, bad notes, Brighton have been stellar in 2023. They've given us no reason to doubt them. They beat Chelsea. They beat all the big teams. They beat Liverpool. So they're a bona fide, really, really good, strong side. And again, they're catching Manchester United in a very, weird spot. I'm not so sure. Even if they go through Sevilla, there's still the emotions that need to be managed. Even if they lose to Sevilla, still those emotions need to be managed. So Brighton, with no distractions right now, their eyes are set on the prize, which is the final. So Brighton have been bowling lately. They're on a 6-2 run to the over 2.5 goals, with 4 of those matches going over 3.5 goals. And whenever these two meet, there's goals. 9 of last 10 matches between the two sides had 3 goals or more. Brighton, they beat Manchester United by 2-1 earlier in the season at Manchester. And last season, in May, the last match they played, they thrashed Manchester United by 4-0. So, with Manchester United also having some problems in the defense that I'm not so sure if they're going to be resolved till Sunday, I do see goals here. So I like the over 2 3/4 goals. The line opened up at 2.5, but now it's dropping. So the line now shifted to 2.75 goals, and that's where I'm going with this one.
All right, Pavlos Sagretos of Sports Memo. There you have it. 4 games: Sevilla, Man United, AS Roma, and Feyenoord. Those games going today at 3 p.m. in Europa League, and then we've got Newcastle, Tottenham that we covered that go on Sunday in Premier League action. Of course, the FA Cup semifinal, Brighton and Man United. Guys, a couple deals over at WagerTalk. Let's not forget about. Today is 50% off day. We also have the Weekend Warrior, where you can get a 3-day all access, $20 off using WW20, and you get a 3-day all access for $39 instead of $59. And I'm going to steal a page out of Brian Power's notebook here and say, do not use that Weekend Warrior today. Today's 50% off at the site. So use the coupon today to get 50% off or get 50% off your packages at WagerTalk. No coupon needed. They've already been slashed in half. And then tomorrow, with your winnings from today, you pick up the Weekend Warrior package. WW20 is the code to get 20 off that $59 package. Now, with that said, we're going to go to Kevin first, then Bryan and Pavlos, and I'll close off the show. We'll have a look at the leans on today's show, and we'll see what they have up at WagerTalk and Sports Memo. Kev, what do you got?
Yeah, we got a 4% MLS triple pack already loaded up on my page ahead of this weekend, Carmine. We'll get the European cards loaded up sometime later today. Obviously riding red hot right now in MLS, 10-0 best bet run, 29-14 overall. So really happy with the start we've made to the season. And that MLS season offer has been extended until tomorrow. Knocks the full season package all the way through November down to just $199 using code MLS100. So, great time to jump on board across the summer months. Apart from that, you mentioned at the start, 5% play is up for this weekend's Javonte Davis versus Ryan Garcia fight over in Las Vegas. Obviously incredibly pumped for that one. So, yeah, make sure and join us for that as we look forward to another great weekend ahead.
Awesome. I wish you the best of luck. Brian, what do you have up? I know you need to get some sleep, man. So let us know what you have up at WagerTalk and then go and get some Z's.
Yeah, I know. I perhaps I didn't get a chance to talk about the Brighton match, which I'm not gonna hold any ill will there because I am looking to get some sleep. But I'll just say I do like Brighton, by the way, in that I would fire on Brighton. I agree with a lot of what Pavlos had to say there. They profile as a top 4 side in the Premier League, better XGD, more expected points, better actual goal difference than Manchester United. And I think today's match, it puts Man U at a disadvantage. But for today, Carm, last week we had a 4% best bet in the Europa Conference League. We're looking to do it again on Thursday. Fiorentina was very easy last week. I think today's 4% play is going to win just as easy. And then I talked about the great runs in MLB and NBA. We've got a 2-pack of MLB going. We've got an NBA best bet, another total loaded as well. Again, half price today. Head on over to the page. We're running real hot, 1 of 7 of the last 9 days overall. And not to pat myself on the back too much, I go to Las Vegas and they get a Major League Baseball team. So you're welcome, Vegas. There you go.
All right, Brian Power, and my apologies. Maybe it is I that needs the Z's because I normally will go to you first on a preview of a game and then go to Pavlos, much like myself first and then Kevin. So apologies to you guys watching out there, but he did give you his breakdown and who he likes in the Brighton game and Brighton plus 145. So I wish you the best of luck in that one. Pavlos, let us know what's up at Sports Memo, and we'll have a look at your leans on today's show.
Okay, I have a 5-pack for tonight in the Europa League and the Europa Conference League. That 5-pack includes a 4% bet on the spread, plus 73.61 units, 55 and 34 in all spread and moneyline releases of 4% or higher since November. So these plays are legit. I have 2 plays for Saturday. They go early, 7:30 p.m. and at noon. Both of them 4%, but you can you can get my 5-pack for tonight, which is 50% off. And then, of course, as Carmine said, use the winnings and buy that Weekend Warrior, because I still haven't loaded my MLS plays for the weekend, and it's going to be a big weekend. I can guarantee you that. So a 5-pack for tonight and 2 best bets for Saturday.
Yes, and I hope you win, Pavlos. Try and make a lot of money, and then get us all matching shirts. That shirt has me mesmerized right now, and I think it's because of that I missed Brian completely on that Brighton one. I just kept looking at your shirt there, but I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it. Listen, for myself, 3 plays up today in Europa League and Europa Conference League combined, 3 plays up, and then a 4-pack up in the NHL. A couple plays, a couple prop bets, 5-1 last night in the NHL. We continue to roll there as well. So I'm hoping for a big day. Grab that 1-day all access, and you drop the $39 price to $19.50 with the 50% off deal, and then we'll take care of the Weekend Warrior tomorrow. Guys, we'll be back on Tuesday next week. We're going to be doing some Champions League, obviously, on break. The next the semifinal games will go on May the 9th. So next week, we'll be talking some domestic league action across Europe as the races heat up for Champions League spots. Nick Borman will be back in the sports memo seat as well. So for myself, Kevin Dolan, Brian Power, and Pavlos Sagaretos, this is Stoppage Time. Thanks for tuning in, and good luck with your wagers.
If you love $9 Monday and $2 Tuesday, you're really going to appreciate our new Throwback Thursday when all daily packages are slashed in half. Yes, you heard right. At both WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, all Thursday daily packages are now 50% off. This means that a 4% package will be only $12.50. A 5% top-rated play, normally priced at $35, will be only $17.50. And the hottest sales item of the day, get a full day of access from the handicappers of your choice. That's 1 day of every applicable play they release, including any 5% best bets normally priced at $39 for only $19.50. The best part is you can come back every Thursday to take advantage of this limited time 50% off spring offer.